Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Wellness by Design today. I'm Jane Hogan, your host, the Wellness Engineer. And today we're going to be talking about living your best life and how you can use Qigong to do that. So I'm really excited to welcome Jan Tucker today, who's an expert in Qigong. Welcome, Jan.
Thank you, Jane. Really glad to be here.
I'm really excited about having you here. I don't think I've had anyone talk about Qigong before, but it's something I'm really interested in because, well, I've done Tai Chi for years and years ago. I learned the 108 moves and really loved it. And then I kind of got busy, or my kids got busy, and then I forgot the 108 moves. It's kind of like, how do you remember 108 moves if you're not doing it all the time? But the thing I love about Qigong is that you don't have to learn all this 108 moves in order to get the benefits of it. And so I'm really excited for people who don't know much about Qigong to get a great introduction to it today. So I'm going to tell everyone a little bit about you. Jan Tucker is a Spring Forest Qigong-certified healer and trainer, certified emotion code practitioner, Reiki practitioner, so am I, and author. She continues a weekly training with Chinese-born Qigong Grandmaster Chunyi, founder of Spring Forest Qigong. Jan began her studies to strengthen her immune system and prevent recurring bouts of bronchitis, asthma, allergies, eczema, digestive issues, and stress. Recognizing the power and holistic health benefits of Qigong, she now offers a complete package of energy healing methods to help others heal as well. Jan, I love that. I love that. Like most people, we have an experience ourselves that brings us to this world. And it sounds like you had your own health issues as well that led you to exactly where you are now with Qigong. So would you like to talk about that a little bit more, just so the audience may realize, well, they may have some of these health issues, and how if what you did helped you, it can also help them.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Everybody that comes to Qigong usually comes for a reason, and it's
Mm.
usually a health related reason. So mine no different from that. So when I was a child, I started to get bronchitis at the age of 4 every year, and it would
Mm.
last a whole week. I'd miss a whole week of school. And then as I got older, it started to last longer and I got more sick. It was very hard to overcome it. I'd be in bed for an entire month every time I got it. And
Wow.
one year I missed 3 months of work, which is not healthy.
No.
So I went to the doctor one time. It was on a 4-day weekend, and I knew that I was getting bronchitis. I felt the symptoms coming on, and he wasn't going to be available for 4 days. So I said to, and it was a new doctor. I hadn't been to him before, moved to a new area. I said to his assistant, I'm getting bronchitis. I know that I'm getting it. Usually I get an antibiotic to take care of it. Can you help me so that I don't get sick over the weekend? And she said, well, you have to get more sick before we can help you. So with
Great.
that, with that, I had a business card from an acupuncturist in my purse. I'd been wanting to try acupuncture. So I called her up and she said, get down here right now. And she gave me some herbs. She gave me some roots to make a tea. She sent me home and I did not get bronchitis that time. And
Hmm.
so I worked with her for about 4 years. I had all those health problems that you mentioned. And she kept telling me, you need to do Qigong. So
Hmm.
that was my entry. I finally was able to carve out some space to look into Qigong. And the first phone call I made, I found Master Lin, and I have never looked back. So just a
Oh, lovely.
wonderful, wonderful thing to do.
Wow. How long ago was that? How long have you been working with her?
That's going on 6 years now.
Beautiful.
For
So now you have your own practice and you help other people.
exactly. I saw the benefit in it. And I
Mm.
was out of corporate America, which, I was very glad for. I didn't like working for corporate America very much. And I was looking for something new to do. So I was able to start my own business helping others.
Mm. And is this the kind of thing, we'll get back into a little bit about what Qigong is about, but I'm just curious, is this the kind of thing you have to do like in person, or can it be virtual?
It's I do everything virtual for people. Even the
Amazing.
Qigong healings that I do are remote healings.
Okay, and I know about this. Some people may be, I don't know, a little bit skeptical about remote healings, but you and I know, and let's dive into this a little bit, that everything is energy, and energy doesn't know it's there's no physical barriers to energy. Energy is energy, and everything is energy. So let's just talk a little bit about that, energy and health. How
Oh,
it's connected. Again, people may be kind of like, what? Like our health is just our physical body. What do you mean energy? So let's talk about that. I'd love to hear your perspective. I talk about energy all the time.
I know, and I love that. Energy, it's been said that energy medicine is the medicine of the future, but it's
Mhm.
really here now, and it's been here for 5,000 years. People just don't know about it.
Mhm.
We basically live in an energy matrix. Everything around us, as you said, is energy. The chair you're sitting on, the rock outside, the tree, it's all energy. It's all vibrating. There are no real boundaries. We see boundaries with our eyes, but microscopically, those boundaries aren't there. So that
Mhm.
means that everything is connected. And
Yeah.
that's one thing people mean when they say everything's connected. We are connected because everything is vibrating, even us. And we know that when we put things on our skin, like moisturizers and anything that we want to use for the skin, there's no barrier there. It goes right through. So
Mhm.
that's how it works. And that energy that's coming through is called chi. That's what chi is. It's the vital energy that holds the whole universe together, and it keeps our body operating optimally. It it helps
Mm.
it helps us breathe. It helps our heart to beat. That energy has power. It's energy it's not static. It's continuing to move. It moves the blood through our system. It helps us digest food. That's what it's all about. And with qigong, that's the energy we're working with to heal.
Mm. So in qigong and traditional Chinese medicine, it's called qi. In I teach yoga as well, and it's called prana.
Mhm.
Other people just call it energy or the biofield. Like whatever you want to call it, it's the same thing by many different names, right? It is energy.
Yes.
So we are energy. So what about how is our health connected to this energy that we are?
Well, we have an energy system. Acupuncturists call it the meridian system, and
Hmm.
qigong we call it the energy system. So it's a system of 12 major energy channels that run through our body, all from head to toe, and 6 of them start in the hands or feet. And that's what carries this chi energy from nature through the body. So the chi energy is nutrition for the cells. Just like when we eat food and our body turns the food into nutrients, we also need this energy as part of our nutrition. And sometimes those 12 energy channels, one or more of them can get blockages in them. And if you can imagine, if an energy channel gets blocked, then the energy can't go through to all the cells. And that blockage forms, you know, it just forms a blockage so that on the other side of the blockage, there's no energy flowing through. On the upside of the blockage, it's getting backed up. I mean, you can think of it like a river, a dam in a river.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is get rid of those blockages in order to get healthy.
So it's the blockages that are causing uh, dis-ease in our body or unhealthiness in our body. It's these blockages of energy. It comes down to energy. So we get energy from, as you said, like where these energy points are on our feet and our hands, right up to the top of our head.
Yes, and it's not just points, it's a whole channel
Okay.
that
And
goes.
so how do we get energized? We'll talk about the blockages in a moment, but how do we if we've got no blockages and things are going well, how do we get more energy? Or do we need more energy? Do we just like have all the energy we need or do we need to get more energy and how do we get it?
Well, we do a lot of things with our body that causes us to have these blockages.
Hmm.
So pretty much, I don't know of anybody that doesn't need to have blockages removed. They're just kind of, we have a very stressful life.
Yeah.
We don't take care of ourselves a lot of times. We don't eat well all the time. We don't sleep well. We don't move enough. Any of those things are going to cause blockages. And the main cause might be surprising to people, but the main cause of the blockages are emotions, negative emotions.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
that mind-body connection. So
Yeah.
whenever we think negative emotions, the energy from that emotion goes into our body and attaches to the organs. The organs store those emotions and they cause
Mm.
blockages. So that's,
Hmm.
we need to remove those blockages. Uh,
Right. Okay. So we need to remove the blockages, but we also get our energy from, like, is it from touching the earth? We get energy from our food? Do we get energy from like all around us? How do we, it's continuously flowing, right? I
exactly.
imagine. So how do we get this energy?
Yes. It's because of this matrix we talked about to begin with. Everything's vibrating. So the energy is all around us. And chi, vital energy, is all the way out to the stars and beyond. So it's everything. And we
Mhm.
get it by being out in nature. We get it by breathing. We get it by eating. When we go out into the sun, we know that our bodies turn sun energy into vitamin D3.
Mhm.
So nature is actually supporting us with this energy all the time, but we just don't even think of it that way. When we eat our food, we get energy from the earth because that's where the food comes from.
Yeah.
And so Qigong was developed so that it's a specialized movement practice, for one thing, so that as we move in certain ways, we increase the energy that comes in. We're actually cultivating more energy in the body. We're circulating that energy through the body as we do movements. And
Mhm.
as we have thoughts, we do meditations, which use visualization. So we're circulating that energy through, and then we store that energy for later. So with Qigong, your energy is always building, it's cumulative. Um,
Right. Okay. Let's dive in a little bit more to the specifics of qigong. So you mentioned that there's a movement aspect to it, and I think when people think about qigong, that might be the first thing they think about is like, oh yeah, I've seen people like out in a field moving very slowly, and I've heard it's called qigong. So there's the movement aspect, but you also mentioned the visualization aspect, and then you also mentioned that you're a healer, a qigong healer. So that's interesting as well. So let's talk about let's start with the movement, the thing that people are most familiar with, and just a little bit about some movements and how they help build energy in the body.
okay. Well, the movements are very specific, as I mentioned. So I do a practice, it's called the five elements Qigong practice.
Mhm.
So you're using the five elements of traditional Chinese medicine, and every element is associated with a body organ and an organ
Mm.
system. So each one of the five movements that I do helps one particular organ system. So when you do a five elements practice, you're working with the heart, the liver, the lungs, the stomach and pancreas, and the kidneys. So those are the
Mm.
five organs that you're working with when you do the practice that I teach. And it's
And
not just the
they're
organ,
each
it's the organ
associated with
system.
a with like fire, water, air, earth. What's the
And
other one?
metal would be
And a
the other.
metal.
Yeah, those are the five elements. Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's a particular movement. Are there more than, I guess there's a lot of different movement practices within Qigong, is there?
There are thousands of different styles of Qigong. The style that I practice, which you mentioned, Spring Forest Qigong, is a really simple one. Master Lin has made it simple. That's his thing. He makes things simple so that people can want to do them, you know. Um, so we have five movements. We have about probably 10 or 12 movements total, but those five cover the whole body. And when you do Qigong, you can think of it like a pumping system. Like in your house, say you have a clog in your sink. You want to pump through, you want to pump air through to remove that clog. And you can't just do it once or twice. You have to keep doing it to keep it out. So that's why we do the same movements over and over, because we're hitting the same areas throughout the body to remove all those blockages.
So can you just like show, is there something you could show us just even sitting down what a movement might look like?
But it'd be a little bit easier standing up. I can do it real quick.
Okay. Should I stand up and do it with you?
Sure.
Oh, Lenore says beautiful conversation. Thank you, Lenore.
Thank you. Awesome.
Okay, I'm going to stand up too.
All right. So we'll just do the first movement that we do in the 5 elements practice, which is called moving of yin and yang. And, you know, you do a little bit of preparation to lead up to this. You do a warm up. But basically, you want to just have your feet shoulder width apart. You want to drop your knees a little bit. Just bend your knees slightly. Bring your hands up in front of the body. The left hand is in front of the navel, and the right hand is in front of the upper chest. And it's not touching. You're away from the Your fingers are open because you want the energy to flow through. And then what you're visualizing is that you have a column of energy running through your body. It goes from the top of your head to the bottom of your torso, straight through the body. So you're visualizing that, and you're seeing the energy in it. And if you can't see it, you can't visualize it, you just think it's there, and that will make it be there because your thoughts are powerful. So what you're going to do is you're going to move your hands in elliptical circles, and you're going to visualize that you're moving that chi energy up and down that column as you move your hands. So what you do, your top hand comes out and down, and the bottom hand comes up at the same time through the inside. And every time a hand comes to the top, it moves out and down. So these circles are going in the same direction every time you make the circle. And you're moving that energy up and down that column. That energy is bathing every one of your major body organs in your torso. And there's a particular color that goes along with this movement. It's green. So you can visualize that you're in a beautiful forest surrounded by green energy. And as I do this, I'm just going to turn sideways so that you can see the flow from that perspective. So you're in a green forest and you're soaking up all that beautiful green energy around you. And you're hearing the animals in the forest. You're hearing all the insects. You're feeling the breeze as it goes through the forest. And this particular movement, moving of yin and yang, is specifically good for the liver channel. So that's just a really nice illustration of what Qigong movements are. And then you can just bring your hands back down in front of your navel again. Women actually have the right hand inside. And then you're ready to move on to the second movement.
Oh, Jan, I love that. I feel so much more calm and peaceful just from doing that. Really, really nice. So I know some of you may be listening to the podcast down the road as opposed to watching it. So if you want to tune in on YouTube, you can go watch the actual practice there, or maybe with the instruction that Jan gave you, you'll be able to just do that one on your own. So lovely. So there's a whole series of moves then. You said there's 5 of them in the practice that you did. Oh, Karen Skinner Collins said, I love it. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Karen. So we've got this beautiful technique that we can do. And then you do healing techniques. So I guess someone would see you for that. And the visualization. So you brought that into that practice just then, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly. And the meditations do too. So we have guided meditations that help you visualize. Because your thoughts are energy too. They're like radio waves. So they have power.
So our thoughts are constantly generating energy, which then our cells are bathed in.
Yes.
So it is really interesting to think about this, and when you know that it's true, and it is true, um, you really think, well, what kind of energy have I been bathing my cells in with my thoughts? And so, if you were a cell, would you want to be bathed in that kind of energy? And if not, we can change our thoughts. But Qigong provides a really beautiful practice, a way to change those thoughts. And you're physically then moving the energy as well. Really, really beautiful. So,
When
yeah, is
when
there,
we,
what else
when
would
we
you like to add?
when we do that movement, we're also thinking about happiness. We're cultivating happiness in our body. And we're changing any feelings of anger or frustration to happiness, both with our thoughts and the movement at the same time. And just to take that a little bit further, um,
Mhm.
the liver, which that movement affects, the liver system, the liver stores anger and frustration, but it also stores happiness. So
Mm.
that's why, our emotions are so connected to our body. Whenever we think happy thoughts, it's helping our liver. It's raising the vibration of the liver up. Whenever we think angry or frustrated thoughts, we're lowering the energy of the liver system. So that's how there's a direct connection with the
Right.
organs.
And then our liver is dealing with toxins in our environment. And then, of course, we're exposed to so many more toxins now, chemicals and things like that. So our liver is having to work harder. And then if we're thinking frustration and thoughts like that, then it doesn't have the energy to work harder. The interesting thing I always find too, when I think about this, is we don't really we don't it's not like we got a meter on our liver to go, oh, liver's working hard now. We just eat a meal and then afterwards feel super tired and wonder why. And it's because one reason is because the liver's got to process all this, and it uses a ton of energy, right? And if we haven't been building up the energy, and if we've been depleting it with our emotions, then poor liver, the poor liver
Exactly.
can't do as good a job as it wants to do.
Exactly. And since all the organs work together, first it's the liver, then it's the kidneys, then it's the heart. So you want to have some kind of a practice that you do to help prevent these problems too.
Mm.
That movement practice moves the energy, keeps the energy flowing in the body, which is what we need.
Hmm. I know with yoga we have the chakra system, but also the chakras are tied to organs, and organs all have their own vibration and emotions and things like that. So I imagine there's a lot of overlap between these systems. They've been both around for thousands and thousands of years, and they've endured, right? And because there's truth in them, there's truth
Yeah,
in them.
it's amazing how much overlap there is. I actually started out being a yogi, not to do the physical movements, but to study the ancient wisdom, to live my
Yeah,
life that way. That's
yeah.
what led me to Qigong, because I was going with the flow and I needed the healing, and it came to me. And then I was concerned that there'd be too much difference between the two and I wouldn't know what to do with that. In the first class with Master Lin, I realized, oh my gosh, there's so many parallels between these two. It's just amazing. Every day I find a new parallel.
Interesting. So, how does a healing session work with you then when you're working with someone?
Well, the healings are remote, as I mentioned, and I can either get on the phone with someone or I can do it over Zoom. Um, I have a whole page on my website that explains what happens. So
Mhm.
what I'm doing is focusing on removing blockages. So I find out what your issues are. I further detect where the blockages are in the energy system. And then I'm again working with the 5 elements. I have a process that I use. Um, it's called, well, I don't think I want to get into all the details of it because it's a little bit complex, but I
Right.
work I work with all of the organ systems to remove the blockages. And then that takes about a half an hour of the session. And then for the rest of the time, I play a guided meditation so that you can start using your mind to get rid of even more blockages. So it's kind of a
Mm,
learning process. Going through a healing with me is a nice learning process to learn how to help yourself.
mm. Beautiful. Yeah. And that's eventually where we want, I know for me, and I'm sure you're the same way, we want to get our clients to the point where they can help themselves. It's really teaching them to help themselves because we really all are our own healers, and actually no one else can do it.
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
that's how I feel. My healing is really my responsibility. So you're teaching people tools on how they can do that themselves. So that's really beautiful, Jan. I love that. So do you also teach Qigong classes online?
Yes, I have a weekly class on Wednesday evenings Pacific time that teaches the 5 elements movement practice.
Hmm.
And then I have a specialized class on Wednesday mornings that is just for people with long COVID because I want them to get moving too and learn the 5 elements, but I don't want them to do it so rigorously that they give themselves a setback.
Right. And there's a lot of people suffering with long COVID. So I know that you've got a gift to give the audience. You want to talk about that a little bit, what it's all about?
Sure. It's a video of me doing the 10-minute. It's a 10-minute video of me doing the 5 elements movement practice and explaining how you can do it too. So you can do it along with me. A lot of people don't have a full hour or even a half an hour. So I wanted to make a short video that they could use in a short period of time.
Really
And then,
nice. So
of course, if they want to learn more, they can get the longer class.
right. So we've got a link to that, the free download in the notes or in the comments. So go ahead and download that. And so I've always got one question I ask all of my guests at the end because Wellness by Design is about intentional living. It's about, teaching people how to be their own healers. What would be the one action you would recommend someone take today to improve their health?
Well, I noticed that when people come to me that have problems actually getting results in anything that they're doing health-wise, it's because they haven't committed to themselves. So I think the first step is to really make a commitment to yourself that you want to heal, that you want to feel better, that you want to learn how to prevent future problems from happening. And, it's just like with a weight loss program, you have to commit to it and you
Mm.
have to put yourself up in front. Then just find a simple way to use a proven method and implement it for yourself.
Mm, love that. Make a commitment. Yes, I say the same thing, and I call it something different, but it's the same thing. Like I call it making a decision, but
Mhm.
it's making the commitment, deciding that you're going to do this, and no matter what. I love that. So, where's the best place for people to find you?
I have a new website. It's called Clear Path to Healing,
Okay.
and that's the best place to come. There's actually a membership uh, feature on the site, so you can even join in and learn so much more. And that's it.
Mm.
Simple. It's a clear, simple path, but it's a clear path to healing.
Oh, thank you. That's so lovely. And I also wanted to mention about my upcoming summit, and that is the Becoming Pain Free Healing the Root Causes of Chronic Pain. And I'm going to share a link with that in the comments as well. And I have someone talking about traditional Chinese medicine on the summit, not Jan, but another expert. And I also have, if for the people that buy the summit, there is a gift from a master of Qigong as well. So I just love this. I know that it's powerful medicine. So I'm really, really happy to share it as part of the summit. You can sign up for free. It's July 18th to the 24th to watch it for free. But there's all these other great things if you sign up right away, things you can download, as I said. But I wanted to say big thank you to Jan Tucker for being a guest today on Wellness by Design and talking to our audience about energy and the power of Qigong and how you can use this to heal your body and heal your life. So thank you so much, Jan, for being a guest.
Thank you, Jane. I really respect what you're doing to help people know how to heal themselves. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Thank you, Jan. And thank you to the audience for watching, for listening. And feel free to leave some comments. Let us know what you thought. And follow up with Jan and download that free video she's got of this practice with the 5 elements. So thanks again and have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.